What is good, you guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Motospeed K87. For some reason it says RoboCop on the box. I'm not sure why, but it does. All the other writing in this I believe is in a different language, Korean, Chinese. I don't really know. Didn't really look it up. But I will say that this did ship from China and it did take a little bit of time. So first things out of the way as far as that goes is when you order one of these like off of GearBest or Newegg, they come from China. So it took a few weeks to get to me, but the main thing about this keyboard is its price, and that's what we're really going to be basing our review on today, is how much it costs and if it's worth shaving off that extra $30 to $40 compared to other mechanical keyboard manufacturers out there. So right here, I dropped the box on the floor, screw it. We have the actual keyboard. So if we, this is a full aluminum body, frame, everything. It's decently heavy. It is a 10 keyless, so you can see we have no number pad, which is a deal breaker for me, but not for everybody. And I actually do like how small this is, and I really wish I didn't use my numpad as much as I did. But because I use mine so much, I couldn't go without it. But I did pick this up. It was $60 and free shipping from China. I bought it on gearbest.com. And for that price, I will say that this is a really sturdy keyboard. It does have mechanical blue switches. Now, these aren't Kale or your standard cherry switches. At least I don't think they are. It's hard to read because the switches are actually clear and the writing on it. But I think I saw like Optum or something like that. So, something Altham or something. Some weird name on the switch. So I'm pretty sure that's not going to be Kale or Cherry MX, but it is a blue switch and it does have the satisfying click on it. So overall, I would give it a thumbs up for that, having blue switches, because that is definitely a PC gamer's like one of their top favorites. We do have rubber grommets on the back, or rubber feet. Not at the top though. We don't have any here. It's metal, which is kind of sad because I feel like this part would get scratched up a lot or cause damage to your table or your surface. But it does have, lift up feet, which I assume that's what they were, kind of assuming everyone was just going to use these feet. So they didn't bother putting any rubber padding on there. There is no rubber padding on the feet either. We have a little bit of branding on the back where it says just K87H Motospeed mechanical keyboard. So overall, the quality of this thing, it's sturdy. It's got some weight to it. It's full aluminum. I wouldn't worry about this breaking. This is definitely one of the most sturdy keyboards I've had my hands on. I have a ASDW right here behind me that's got an aluminum top, but the back of it's still plastic. And then the Thermaltake Poseidon Z had a nice plate running through it to keep it sturdy. But this definitely surpasses it by far because this is a full aluminum top and bottom casing around it. And for $60, that is an extremely cool thing to have that like full build quality, and it makes it feel just really high quality. And we can talk about the keycaps. Now I do knock some things on keycaps, especially the more expensive keyboards. These are actually double shot keycaps. On the inside, it's hard to see on my camera, but inside you will see, it's a white keycap, and then they filled it with some clear keycap stuff, clear plastic, to fill it up. So it is a double shot keycap, and that definitely gives more of a sturdy and kind of, once again, high quality feel. And I do love the space bar on this, how it's got this rounded edge right here. In fact, on my keyboard, for the ASDW one, I actually turned my space bar around because I didn't like the edge it had on one side. So I flipped it around so I could have like a sloped edge, kind of like how this one has, which is something I personally like. That's a personal preference. As far as the letter printing, the font they used on this, I don't mind it. I think it's pretty cool. It looks pretty standard, but then some keys have a little bit of like kind of like a cool little edginess to it. Like the caps lock key has kind of like a bigger C and a bigger L, and the other two letters are smaller. As well as like the 6 kind of has like the G looking effect, and the D isn't connected at the bottom. It's kind of got like a little edginess to it, but it's all very legible. And because they are double shot, you won't have to worry about the keys wearing at all from constant use. At least the keys may smooth out a little bit, but it's not gonna affect the actual font on the key. So this does come with functions. Now the problem with this is the instruction manual inside the box doesn't come in English. But it does, I will say the packaging was nice, especially coming from China. They had some soft cell foam around the edges to kind of hold it in place and hold it still. But yeah, there's no English instructions. So I did find somewhere where I was able to kind of get the functions, and I'll throw it in the description for you guys. If you need it, you can copy paste it and throw it in a notepad if you do plan on getting this keyboard. So it basically is obviously like all of the keyboards, it's based around the function key. So if you want to go through the LED profiles, now this does have LED backlit. Now it is a rainbow color, so it's, you know, you're going to start, you know, red, orange, and then go, I think it was like green, yellow, or whatever, blue, and all the way to purple. So it does have like a rainbow effect, and it goes from this side to this side, not that way. It's going to go up and down on the keyboard. And basically each row of keys is going to be a different color. Now this could be a deal breaker for most, because a lot of people would see this and be like, full aluminum body. It's got kind of like a, I don't know, brushed aluminum top, but it's not like an aluminum color. It's kind of like a tannish pink silver color. And that does look really cool. You can turn the LEDs off if you don't like them. But that could definitely be a deal breaker for most, because you cannot change the colors. They are not RGB. It is just basically that color of that LED is what that color is going to be. There are different profiles now. I believe they said there was about 11. So I'll shuffle through and you know, play the video of me shuffling through them, and you guys can kind of get an idea, because not all of them have names. Now I will say I did like the reactive wave one, where you push a key and it shoots like a wave across the keyboard. But it's very seizure inducing when you're typing really fast on it. So I wouldn't use it for practical use. I would just keep the keyboard lit. You can also hold the function key to speed up or slow down the LED effect, or light up or dim it. So you have different, you know, different adjustments in light. So, you know, just hold the function key and hit the arrow up and down, and that'll basically lower it or raise the LED color, I guess, the brightness. There you go, brightness level. That'll adjust the brightness level, so function up and down arrow. And then function left and right arrow will actually slow or speed up the lighting pattern. So if you have it trickling across the whole keyboard and you want to slow it down, you just function and left key on the arrow. So that's actually kind of cool that they let you slow it down, and I really liked having like the wave effect, like the slow breathing wave is the one that I like to have on, and just turn it to really slow. And have the LEDs all the way bright or all the way dim. Actually, it's kind of nicer, because then it gets less of a shut off, and it doesn't necessarily feel like it's changing. It just kind of feels like your keyboard's just kind of vibrating. So there is a breathing effect as well as a handful of other ones like reactive mode and other cool little light up features that I really don't see anybody practically using, or using it in a practical sense, maybe just to show off. So by doing that, you just hold the function and insert key to switch through all of those profiles until you find your way back to the front or the one you like. Now, the other sad thing I thought, though, about this is the keys. There is multimedia keys. So you have the function plus, you know, the F keys, which will give you extra features as far as like maybe stop, pause, play for your media, and calculator, home, and my computer, you know, quick buttons, hotkeys. So there's no indication. I'll show it in a different, because it's too bright here on this white keyboard. But you hit function and it doesn't tell you which one does what. It just says F5, F6, F7. And like I said, I can't read the manual, so there's no way of me really telling what they do, but sit there and figuring it out. I personally don't use those that much. I do use the calculator one and occasionally the home one. I don't use the media stop, play, pause, because in most applications that you use nowadays, you can use your spacebar for pause and stuff, so you don't even have to hit two keys. You could just hit space and it'll pause and play. Or I think you can also use, in a lot of applications like Kodi, you can use the arrow keys to kind of go back and forward. So you don't necessarily need the multimedia, but once again, it'd been nice to know which ones are which. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and figure out which ones are which. I just know the calculator, I believe, is F3, and home is either F2 or F4. I can't remember which one of those. So, you know, sad that they didn't put it on the F key to kind of let you know what it is, especially since it doesn't contain any English instructions. But you know, that's what you get with it, and it's nice that they have them there. And like I said, I don't use them, so personally, it's not a big deal for me. It's not a deal breaker or nothing. The only deal breaker I had was the missing 10 keys. And overall, we got computer went to sleep. Can't let that happen. So yeah, the 8 functions. You can also hold function and press W, and it'll switch the arrow keys with the WASD if you're a left-handed gamer. or you just overall just want to switch them. So you can do that just by hitting function and W. And then there is N key rollover with this keyboard, as well as 6 key rollover on Mac, I believe. And by pressing the function, and I'm looking at the notes because I don't remember which key it was, you can switch through, I think it's print, scroll, and scroll lock. If you switching between those two, it'll switch you between 6 key and N key if you want, which I don't see why you would ever do. If you also notice, there's no LED indicators on this keyboard for like your caps lock. How that works is the key itself actually lights up when it's on. So for instance, when you plug the keyboard in, your caps lock and scroll lock will not be LED backlit until you activate them. So that's how you would know. There's at least there's an indicator there. So overall, sturdy, good, very cheap. The USB cable has a nice braid on it. I do like that, and I believe that's a micro USB plug-in here, not mini. So it's not like the ones you use on your phone. It's like the ones that you would use for like an old school PSP. So I mean, it's the USB cord's high quality. It's got a nice braid on it. It's a a nice little tone of like light gray / silver color that it's got going on, and I'm digging it. It's kind of a refreshing thing from like all the black and silver keyboards that you usually see out there. This one's got like kind of like a plain less tinted gold, I guess you could say. I don't know, it's like a really weird color, but I really like it. And like I said, the sturdiness and the quality of it. The switches are also, forgot to mention, they are rated for 50 million clicks, believe it or not. So they're competing up there with the Kale switches and with the Cherry MX switches as far as how long they're supposed to last, which is good. The overall click and feel of it, it definitely feels, like a blue switch. It's got the click to it, but I will say that it's got more of a sharper click. They are very precise, and they do feel good to type on. I was able to hit a pretty decent typing speed compared to other keyboards I've typed with using this one. But yeah, no, if you were to take like a Cherry MX Blue or a Kale Blue, you could probably tell the difference. But you would have to sit there and use, one of the other for an extended period of time, then go type on this. Then you'd be like, yeah, this feels different. But if someone was just to hand this to you out of the blue and you haven't used a blue switch like me, I use a brown switch keyboard, and because I haven't touched a blue switch in a while, it feels, pretty much like a blue switch. It's got like the click, and I like it. I feel like they're maybe a little bit lighter to press, but the click is definitely more louder and kind of like more there. You know what I mean? You can feel it. Like it's a very sharp click compared to the Cherry MX and Kale Blue switches. But overall, like I said, I think this uses Cherry stabilizer style as well. None of that cheap stuff. Like I said, quality stuff here for $60. And there's not a lot of good mechanical keyboards that you can get for that price. So this one's definitely up there. Only downsides that I can say, like I said, minus 10 keys. It's downside for me. Not RGB, but once again, it's cheap. Lack of telling me which function key is which, no English instructions, and being shipped from China. Those are really the only downsides of it. But if you're willing to wait for a keyboard, $60, I'd do it. Yeah, I'd definitely do it. And if you guys are wondering why I have a rainbow keyboard, it's not for me. I don't dig the rainbow, really. So it's going to be going to my girlfriend. So she gets her keyboard, and it's nice. I like it. We'll do a typing test, and catch you guys later.